This is Twit.
I loved your Entertainment Weekly proposal. I'm sorry, I know this is totally off topic, but Jeff published his original proposal for Entertainment Weekly, and I absolutely loved it.
And Neil Dash tweeted it and said
he did. It was very nice.
How timely it was.
There's a woman named Anne Helen Peterson who published on The All, this unbelievably long, I can't imagine anyone else would care, but a lot of people do, piece on the tortured, synergy-ridden life of Entertainment Weekly. And I dread reading things like that, like I'm going to get smashed again, but I didn't. It was very well thought through, really well researched. Turns out it was a. I would say it was going to be a chapter of her dissertation, so she actually, like probably had footnotes.
She wrote a dissertation on Entertainment Week, the history of Entertainment Weekly.
On gossip. She wrote
on gossip.
A PhD in gossip.
Oh, what a great
celebrity.
subject! Yeah.
And so she had a chapter evidently on EW, and she published it. Whether it was part of the dissertation or not, I don't know, but I read it with fascination, and it inspired me to scan and put up my original proposal for EW, and at the end of the scan is the rejection that it received.
A magazine proposal, The Ultimate Entertainment Guide, Jeff Jarvis, January 31st, 1984. I'm proposing an entertainment guide, a magazine that would come to the aid of the consumer in a very confusing time. As Anil Dash pointed out, this was about the same time Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire in the Pepsi commercial. Yeah. Today, that's one of the confusion sources. Today, there's simply too much to choose from. Movies, network TV, cable TV, satellite TV.
These new things called video cassettes.
Video cassettes offering...
I know, cassette tapes and VCRs. They were so confused.
It's 1984, remember. Music on radio, on records, on cassettes, and now... he says on compact discs.
Compact discs.
Wow.
I remember that's about when I bought my first CD, actually. Right,
at least I didn't have laser discs in there.
And let's not forget books.
I was trying to imagine you sitting at a typewriter, Jeff. I was like, wow, like he typed this on a typewriter, or someone typed it.
No. That was typed probably on my Osborne 1 and my gigantic $2,300 neck printer.
Yeah, but it is a typeface. It looks like...
it was an impact printer. It was an impact printer.
The magazine would review and give you stories about all this entertainment, concentrating on the programs rather than the people. See... Now, it says as opposed to the magazine I work for now. Did you work for people?
I work for people.
I have it up here, Chad. I don't know what you're looking at. It would also devote some, but far fewer pages to hardware, educating, advising readers, and so on. What to look for in a VCR.
Should have added, and how to get rid of the damn flashing
Blinking
12.
What's new in TV sets?
Sets, yeah. That ages me.
It'd be easy and cheap to start up, not too expensive, prone to solid growth. Why the time is right. This is very cool. I wish I had some of the early treatments I did for things like the site. I would love to have those.
If you go down to the last 2 pages of that PDF are the rejection it received.
By, who is BMG?
Henry Grunwald, the then editor-in-chief of Time Inc.
He said, thanks for sending me the Jarvis memorandum about the entertainment magazine. I'm afraid I'm not high on this. On the surface, it makes a lot of sense, but the rationale falls apart when you really look at it. The market for entertainment is so broad, I think it is difficult. He was wrong, by the way, but okay.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult, if not impossible, to create a single magazine or guide for it. For instance, the people who watch television are not necessarily the people who read books.
That's the killer sentence. That was the killer sentence. People who watch TV don't read books.
Even if one were to stick strictly to home entertainment, i.e. the tube, there would be lots of problems. We only know too well how difficult it is to provide cable listings. Cassette reviews? Hardly needed weekly. Perhaps not even monthly. I suspect people are satisfied with the handouts they get in video shops and the occasional reviews in other publications. Still, there could be something for the cassette market, but it might be more like a catalog than a magazine. Who is this nitwit?
He was actually the brilliant, frightening Austrian editor-in-chief of Time Inc.
Oh, so I should be doing this like
you could do that in a German accent.
Movie reviews, plenty of those everywhere. Besides, and this is a very minor issue, I doubt there really is a broad market for Jarvis's vision of opinionated and provocative reviews. I suspect the majority of moviegoers don't pay any attention to reviews. Oh, man, did he get that wrong?
Wow.
This is pre-Rotten Tomatoes.
Is like the first thing I look at.
Me too. It's like if it's not an 80 or better on Rotten Tomatoes, I go see it. News and gossip, there's plenty of that. No one needs news and gossip. Equipment? Well, that's quite a different matter. And unless you are an absolute electronic nut, you don't need to keep up with this regularly.
Well, forget your company, fella.
Who needs? There will never be more. You will buy one VCR and TV in your whole life. And that's
20
it.
shows about all of this.
Yeah. Of course, I could be wrong, but with so many other things going on, I would not. And did that kill it?
That killed it for the rest of his regime. And then a new editor took charge, and he wanted to make his mark by starting a magazine. And a guy on the business side thought he had this idea on his own. And then someone said, no, Jarvis wrote this memo a couple years ago.
Wait a minute, I have it here somewhere. It's in my files.
And so it started 6 years after I proposed it.
Wow.
So, like,
1990.
is this what people did in 1984? They like typed out letters, and then 18 months later, they replied to one another by typing out a letter. Like,
You were too young to remember this, Gina, but yes.
That's what it was.
I was 9 years old in 84.
And then a human being would come, would get the letter, would bring it to a facility where it would be routed by carrier pigeon. And then another human being would pick it up and deliver it to your door, ring the doorbell.
Insane-o.
Insane.
I should have brought this home. I have it at the office. We made a bunch of covers. There's one prototype cover on my blog I put up of the Wonder Years. It's a wonder of
That's
nostalgia.
a great, that's a great cover.
And we had to make other materials, some fake inside spreads and other things. That was made so we could make junk mail. And in the junk mail, we sent this out. This is now illegal to do. It's called dry testing. In the junk mail, we would send out and say, we have this new magazine called Entertainment Weekly. Would you like to buy it? Here's the deal. First 4 issues free, blah, 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 blah. And then we'd see how many people would come and send in the cards to order the magazine.
Before you even had a magazine.
Yeah. And then we would tell them, oops, we don't have a magazine. Here's people instead, which is all illegal now.
Highly illegal.
It's like minimum viable
so.
product, but with paper. It's awesome.
Yeah. So somewhere there's a picture of like a coffee table with issues of fake Entertainment Weekly spread out, and a guy with a bowl of popcorn and a remote control and some videotapes, all in the junk mail. So we had to make that. Wow. I made one cover with Roseanne Barr and Murphy Brown.
Yeah.
And the cover billing was "Kiss Cosby Goodbye."
Wow.
And
so you were trying to be provocative.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the sassy woman kind of thing, right?
Right.
And so Cosby hated me because I have faxed hate mail from Cosby. I actually adore Bill Cosby and love the show, but toward the end of his show, it got to be pretty preachy.
It was time to move on. Yeah.
I dared to say so. So he had it out to me. So he got a copy of the junk mail and had somebody. This is before Photoshop. Had somebody remake it so it said "Kiss Jarvis Goodbye" when I left the magazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Sensitive much?
Boy, he really didn't like you. Wow.
No.
This is fun.
Bill Cosby. That's
I read
awesome.
Entertainment Weekly. I loved Entertainment Weekly, actually. But it was a little bit too, it probably was too smart.
Oh, well, this long piece by Helen Peterson argued that the first critics were there to be too snarky. And I don't know that was the case, but we definitely got in trouble. This was the time when Time Inc. was going to merge at first with Paramount and then with Warner to become Time Warner.
Oh.
And so the way I suffered the synergy beast was that we were being too mean to Hollywood, which was their new industry. And they weren't so stupid as to say you're being mean to Warner Brothers, but they did.
Right. Hollywood.
One of the top editors, my conceit that I brought to the magazine was to have grades for reviews. That's what we did at People. That's what I did at People. Right. And so I did that at EW. And one of the top editors of Time Inc. sat down and calculated the grade point average of our grades every week to say that we're being too mean. And
or maybe they're making too much junk.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that?
That's my point.
Yeah.
So the movie critic at the time, Owen Gleiberman, gave a bad review to Pretty Woman, and this sent them into a fit of apoplexy because clearly he was wrong because at the box office said people like it.
Huge movie.
So you're wrong.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
That's why we have Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep, exactly.
So now you can separate the critics from the people.
So thank you for that little jaunt down the
fun. I love it.
Yeah, really fun.